got a machete in your pocket, sir, or are you just happy to see me?
I'm just saying, why wouldn't you check the back seat?
I'm just not here for it.
I kind of enjoyed the axe to the face.
Ooh, hey there, Mr. Monster.
So, chill or kill. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Netflix and Kill.
That was good.
I try sometimes.
You did a good job. Well, I mean, this is not really the place for trying. I feel like we've set a bar for this show that is very low. And I'd just like to keep it there. Like, I kind of feel like you're the kid in class.
Oh, okay.
Good. Bringing it back. Because for a second there, it seemed like you were the kid in class who was like doing the most. Who is usually me, by the way. But like, we don't do that here.
Okay. I'm gonna try less.
This show is
time.
for tongue clicks, long pauses, all that.
Yeah.
And we're giving it to you.
Right now.
Right now. But you know what? Here we are. Here we are up in that feed on time, girl.
Mm-hmm. For once.
Different. It's different.
I don't know. I don't know how to react to being on time and on schedule.
I mean,
being on schedule is not very on brand.
True.
I don't know how I feel about it yet.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about?
Well, it's Saturday.
It is.
It is Saturday for the people.
For the people. For we the people.
For the people. They're doing things on Saturday. I'm probably working. I am working.
Are you?
So while the majority of the world, or most of us, or most of the world people, I don't know.
You're doing great. You're doing so great. I'm still here with you.
Off on Saturdays and have their weekends off. I don't. So while you're relaxing and I'm working, I decided to just, we're going to leave you with this episode, and hopefully you, will check out Netflix maybe or not. I don't really give a shit what you do. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll listen to this and just say, fuck it. I don't know.
I mean, I'm off. I'm off on Saturday, so I could check out Netflix. I think I'm going to watch Umbrella Academy.
Yes, you need to.
Yeah.
You definitely need to.
I've been meaning to like binge the shit out of it because I know that you watched it, last weekend or weekend before?
It was like last week sometime. I binged like the first, all of the episodes. And I think I left like the last 2 episodes because it was like 7:30 in the morning, and I'm like, time for me to go to work.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's really good. I think you should watch it. But this was my choice this week on Netflix and Kill.
Yeah. Which is funny because I was going to choose the same movie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because I wanted to watch it.
Synchronicity.
I think that's just us being the same person, though. I don't really think we can count that as a synchronicity at this point.
Is that not the same thing?
We're literally just the same. No, a synchronicity is like something strange that you encounter in your life that's like echoing something that happened earlier. Oh. So like if you were trying to make a decision between, I don't know, like
simpatico. That's what we are.
Yeah. Yes. Which is like more like similar.
Okay.
But a synchronicity is like something that's trying. I mean, some people will say that it's like your spirit guide's trying to send you a message or whatever. But I think it's a cross between that and then also like just the way the human brain works. Because if you're if you are thinking about buying a Prius, then all you're going to see on the fucking road is a Prius because your brain is thinking about Priuses.
Yeah. My spirit guide's probably at a bar somewhere.
I think probably drinking with mine.
With yours, they're smoking heavily.
They fucking off. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're like, figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Just make it up, baby. Fake it till you make it. And then they take a big swig of Jameson. And that's
Yeah. Yours is probably drinking the Jameson.
it's true.
Mine's probably drinking a gin and tonic.
I'm down. I mean, you know, a little bit classy. Like classy in a pimp way. You know what I mean? Like classy, but like with a ceiling.
They're both definitely eating the peanuts.
Yes. Yeah.
Because,
The bartender's already refilled them twice.
Because food.
And like the bartender's getting testy because they ain't ordered nothing but alcohol, but they keep hitting them fucking peanuts real hard.
Yeah. That's what's going on. We've veered so far off topic. I don't know. Not even a fucking 4-wheel drive could get us back on fucking main road, folks. So I chose the movie Velvet Buzzsaw. So I saw the advertisement for it on Netflix. I actually did not watch we watched the trailer, but what drew me in was the image, I guess, or the not cover, but
Yeah, the cover.
The cover?
Like yeah.
okay, yeah.
I think we still call those cover, like the cover art for the movie.
Like cover art?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking that was more of like book,
Oh.
but
I mean,
poster? I don't know. That's what really drew me in at first. I was like, ooh, this looks interesting. I mean, you've got like the words Velvet Buzzsaw written in what appears to be blood / spray paint. And then also I saw that it had Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and I was like,
yeah. That's why I wanted to watch it, because I had just found out that it was on Netflix, and I was like, okay, one, cool that Jake Gyllenhaal did a Netflix movie, and
for
two,
real.
It's him. So even though he does have a fucked up haircut in this,
He
in this
really
movie,
does, bitch.
he looks like a fucking idiot.
It's the worst fucking haircut.
But I'd still
fuck him.
Like, I mean, 100.
I would.
100. We cut that hair after. Maybe during. Maybe we're cutting it during. You know what I mean? Like, we just need to shape it up a little bit on the side.
Honey, I would just hold it the whole time. I'd have his head pinned down and just have the hair held.
Just,
you know?
snatch it back.
You're on top, and I'm like, and you're like, can he get the razor?
Bring me that razor.
I come waddling back nude. With the clippers. Yeah.
I mean, Jake, if you're down, go ahead and email the hauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com.
Jake Gyllenhaal's
Just
not
letting you know.
to this.
Shoot us that message.
He is not.
You don't know.
listening
He's
to
on
this.
Netflix. He's trying to be hip. It's fine.
He's probably a random patron.
Oh my God. Well, if that's the case, you motherfucker, you need to fucking blow that Patreon up. Like,
Yeah.
We ain't even got a tier for you. We should make a tier called Jake Gyllenhaal.
Specifically,
If you build it, he will come. Hopefully, all over your chest.
Oh, yes, honey.
No.
Okay.
So first let's
Let's
just
talk a
lay
little
down
bit about what it's about.
Right, a plot
basic.
summary.
Plot summary. So obviously we're in 2019. So this is 2019. It's like it's described as a satirical.
Okay.
Okay.
You second guessed yourself and fucked
I
it
did.
up.
Satirical.
You had it.
Supernatural horror film, which instantly intrigues me. Mm-hmm. And it's written and directed by Dan Gilroy. And
Again, you had it.
why am I second guessing myself?
I don't know.
And stars
Are you
Jake
having a
Gyllenhaal.
low confidence day?
No, never.
Okay.
Girl, never.
Well, I believe. I mean, your hair does look really good
Yeah,
today.
as always. Renee Russo, Toni Collette, and a bunch of like other really cool people. John Malkovich. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's got some names to it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting for
Yeah.
Netflix. Netflix stepping that pussy up. Which it has been for a
she
while.
Is. Yeah, she is.
But
She had a Best Picture nomination this year.
yes.
Roma.
It premiered at the 2019 Sundance Film Festival and was released on February the 1st by Netflix, and also had a limited release in select theaters. So it's essentially about this art critic, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who he attends an art exhibition with one of his friends, and it's really about this sort of world of like art and the culture behind it. Like one of his friends discovers that one of her neighbors is a painter who has passed away and he has nobody to leave anything to, and he had left in his will that all of his paintings were supposed to be destroyed. So she finds them, and they're really good. Or maybe they're not. Maybe that's the whole part of it. And, you know, she's trying to get in good with her boss at the art gallery. So essentially, they start selling these paintings, and then once they start selling them, weird, creepy, horrible shit starts to happen to anyone who profits from the selling of these paintings. So, pretty unique storyline, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I was 100% down to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say the synopsis certainly sounded interesting and intriguing. So I actually
Where's the shade button? Where's the RuPaul Drag Race shade button? The little rattlesnake.
I mean, here's the thing for me.
I'm going to find that sound clip and insert it.
Here's the thing for me with that movie. I went into it with really high expectations. I wouldn't say really high. I went into
moderate.
Moderately high,
levels.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal's going to be there, so you know.
You've got eye candy.
You've got eye candy, but he also is a good actor.
And a good actor too.
He's
but also
a good
eye
actor.
candy.
Right. But it seemed so interesting, and it seemed like such a unique story to tell. And I was really excited, both of us being kind of creative types, to see why laugh.
I just creative type. They wanted them creative types.
Well, no, I mean like a movie incorporating both horror and art, kind of interesting to me, and the whole idea of like the paintings being malevolent, or containing some sort of malevolent spirit is really interesting to me because. That's a little bit like Picture of Dorian Gray, kind of, but like with a twist on that, with like a much more like active twist. And so I was really interested in it. And I had very high expectations, and that just kind of like, we started up here and then we just kind of like progressively.
They don't know where here is at, but it was moderate.
It was high. It was moderately high. I just explained.
Her hand is moderately.
My hand is exactly
above.
at moderately high, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying too hard. I'm not stretching. But, like, I was here, and then, like, as we watched the film, it just kind of dropped for me. Pretty quickly. I was there probably for the first 30 to 40 minutes, and I was really, like, trying to hack it. And then we got past that point, and I was just like, okay, like, I'm really struggling. Yeah. And for me, for this movie, I'm caught between, I looked at kind of critic reviews just to kind of see what the vibe is. I kind of like to see what other people are chit-chatting about the film, whether they agree with me, whether they don't.
See what the gossip is.
Yeah, I like to know what the tea is. And I'm caught between two different reviews. One review, it's bad. One review says, quote, a film that's every bit as shiny and hollow as those colorful balloon animals that Jeff Koons has sold for millions of dollars, end quote. That was David Ehrlich of IndieWire. And I totally agree with him. But then Inku Kong of Slate says, quote, its ideas are silly, but Jake Gyllenhaal delivers them with such goofy passion that who cares, end quote.
I mean, okay.
And I'm caught because she's right. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal, 100% committed to it. The script could have used some workshopping. But he is committed 110%.
You're caught between a Koons and a Jake Gyllenhaal. Like
I am. I mean, I'm just very... I think the script is what let us down. Because we didn't have a clear path. It's obvious that this movie is trying to make a commentary on the art industry and on commoditization and about, the rich and people who follow what's in vogue and whatever. But I think we lost that main thread where we start getting more of the gore, where it gets into more, I guess what I would term as traditional horror territory. As that plot develops, we lose the underscoring of the commentary on art buyers and art collectors and the wealthy. And then it gets into this weird, like, super muddled, murky soup that, like, ultimately is just unsatisfying. You know?
Yeah.
I think they lost their message, and they just couldn't find a way to tie it all together.
Yeah, so I would agree. I think that I actually really like the description of that one review where it was kind of like a shiny, like, balloon animal, like a Koontz. Or like a, which actually kind of reminded me of one of the art pieces in the film itself, actually. So, spoiler alert. Spoiler. One of the art pieces that...
We need to have, like, a spoiler alert, like, sound.
Insert spoiler alert sound that Kenny will find tonight.
And if he doesn't, then it's just going to be that.
Yep.
Because this is Netflix and Kill.
Exactly.
Kick back.
So, yes. I thought that that's a perfect description, but when you get the... I guess I should say one of my favorite things about it really ended up being the kills.
Yes, like, we did have some good kills. I'll give it that.
I started caring less about, the intent of the story and what it was supposed to convey, and sort of flipped a switch over into, ooh, I just really want to see how these people get killed by art.
Yep. I definitely had that switch too. And we had some good kills. They just weren't connected to anything, which is fine.
You had some good moments. Like, you have the lady who reaches her arm into the metal sphere, gets her arm chopped off, and then she bleeds to death. And then people open up the gallery the next day, and she's laying there dead with blood all over the place. And people just think she's part of the exhibit, which I live for. Yeah.
And then they were trending on Instagram.
If I had to go anyway, I would be fine with that. If I was her, I'd be okay with that. What I'm saying is I would not come back and haunt the gallery out of spite or anger.
You'd be fine.
I would be fine.
Yeah.
I helped us trend on Twitter. Moving on. I have done my work.
Ultimate job.
The ultimate job. Yes. So that was great. I will say that one of the scariest moments was from the robot.
Fuck that dude. Yeah, he was very scary.
I think it was called Hobo Man?
Yeah.
I think
Hobo Man.
Called Hobo Man or Hobo something. But it was this really creepy
Uncanny
robot.
Valley for sure.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Robin Williams in Bicentennial Man. The robot version of him at first, but like twisted and would actually fucking kill you. But and I had this in my notes somewhere, but the way he speaks...
I had to erase Bicentennial Man from my mind because it created such an existentialist crisis for me.
Did it really?
I simply could not deal with the sadness of that film. It was not okay to show to me as a fucking child.
Yeah.
Not acceptable at all. And will not watch again now that he has passed on and left us. It's not. It can't happen.
Moment of silence for Robin Williams.
And back to discussing a film that has nothing the fuck to do with him.
Yeah.
No, Robo-Man was scary as fuck.
Yeah, so the way he looked at, he would look at you and he'd said something like along the lines of like, I can save you. Or some bullshit like that. And I'm like, nah, I don't think the fuck not.
I'm all right.
I'm good.
Doing
I don't
okay.
need saving.
You know what?
I don't need saving. Evil robot hobo Jesus. I don't need it. I'm good.
No.
Been there, done that. Got the emotional scars to prove it.
Yeah, he wasn't good. He wasn't a fun time.
He was the scariest part for me. But other than that, like the saw kill with the lady, the robot.
I mean, here's the thing. One, who didn't see the saw kill coming? Both of us saw it the fuck coming.
Oh, the lady, because she's got the tattoo.
I mean, because they make it very obvious in the beginning where they show you that she has a velvet buzzsaw tattoo on her spine. We talk about the fact that she was in a punk rock band. There's also the fact that this lady in this movie.
Which honestly is kind of random.
Like, literally is me if I was, like, a wealthy piece of shit. Like, literally the way that she conducts herself is 100% me.
Do you really considered her a piece of shit?
I mean, she wasn't a piece of shit. She was just, like, very dismissive, I feel like, of
that?
people
Was that,
in her
that
life.
was Renee... Was that... No. Yeah, that was Renee Russo.
Yeah, that was Renee Russo.
That was Renee Russo. I loved her character.
I mean, I also loved her. I just would hope to be like a little nicer and a better person. Ultimately,
Renee Russo
to everyone
was the,
around me.
She was the gallery owner. So she's like this HBIC. She's the one that pushed for these paintings to be sold so that she could make a quick buck. She was the one that was really kind of orchestrating like the sale of these paintings.
Yeah. And I mean, she was a hot bitch, and I'm like 100% there for it.
So
but
this man came up and tried to step to her in the film. And he said one thing, and she was sitting down in that chair, and she got up and she just said, "Fuck off."
Mm-hmm. Like she was going to fight him. Like, it was amazing. I mean, I love her character. I very much identified with her character. But she probably, Jake Gyllenhaal, and the way that he earnestly acted his role, the fact that we did have some good kills, some good creative kills, and then her, those were probably my highlights of the film. Other than that, I think it's pretty directionless. I think it really struggles with trying to figure out what its message is. I think there's too much stuff that's packed in.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that we have this like totally, and maybe this is just me like not being here for 2K19, but like we have this, Jake's character is very, like when we meet him, he's gay, right? And identifies as a gay man. Like it's not like a bisexual situation. Like he is a gay man, but then he like starts this like pseudo relationship. Well, I guess his character considers it a relationship with this woman. And it's like, I'm not sure, like there's not any sort of exploration of like his thought process or like what he's going through or whether that's
it was just
like,
kind of random.
It was so random. It was almost, it was very forced. It was just very weird. And I think it could have been interesting. I just think there were a lot of ideas like that one, like a gay man who then falls in love with a woman and like, what is that about? And like, what is that journey? And like, that's an idea that needs to be plucked out of the script, and like a movie needs to be written about that.
I agree. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense, especially just giving, and not to like stereotype or whatever, or say that, like
that can never happen, because obviously it could, and that's like, that is an interesting, compelling story, but it didn't seem authentic.
Yeah. In the context of the story and everything that was going on, it just felt odd. You didn't really like the character that he was with. You didn't really like her at all. Like, she really wasn't a likable character at all,
and it didn't seem like they had a real connection. It didn't seem very
it was sort of like, we're talking as like friends. Oh, now I'm gonna move your hand on my pussy,
and like I mean, girl, I don't blame you. Why would you not shove Jake Gyllenhaal? Jake Gyllenhaal's
put his Gyllen hands on. Put his Gyllen hands on your Murray pussy.
I mean, 100%. He definitely could get it, but it just seemed very odd in the context of this movie.
Yeah.
The only reason that it just didn't completely flop is because, like, that whole story arc, the only reason that thing didn't flop completely is because he was so, like, ridiculously committed to it. Like, that's the only reason that it sold it.
Is, like, he sold that character for everything that it was worth. I absolutely...
Which won't much, girl.
But he made it work.
He did.
He definitely made it work. He made it... He was sort of, like,
very
the whole
funny,
movie,
very comical.
Yeah, the whole movie had, like, comedic relief sort of sprinkled about.
Right, because it's supposed to be satirical. It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we got a little more heady than funny.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the headiness didn't, like, add to the story being clear.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
But there is a great scene with him that we actually had to watch 3 times, where he's like exasperated beyond the point of like no return. He's like so exasperated, and just his reactions.
And he's exasperated because of the fact that Jake's character is sort of the main one that is researching like this artist, and like this artist has like this really sort of like dark
I love
history.
how you just say Jake, like we're on a first name basis
Jake.
with him. Jake's character, you know.
Jake's character that he played.
You can just ask him.
Jake's character.
He's right here now.
He just, Jake's character, he told me, like, I found out about this through text. He sent me a text message and was just like, hey, I'm in this film and you want to check it out. In that voice. Anyway, so he is starting to discover like that this artist has like this really sort of strange, weird backstory that we touch on, but like don't really get into
At all. Literally at all.
And we also don't really get into what is causing these paintings. Like it sort of hints at like this artist has like this dark history with like,
a fire. Wasn't he in like a fire that he...
There's a chance that he could have possibly killed his father, the artist did. And apparently, I think it's supposed to leave it open to interpretation that like that negative energy that the artist felt sort of worked its way into the painting, which I'm all about. But it just, none of that was ever really conveyed. Like, we don't know if this is like an actual spirit or some sort of demon, or if it's just negative energies. Like, it's never really touched on.
Right. It was very much left open. Another thing.
But we were going to talk about that moment.
Oh,
we sidebarred.
Yeah. So, no, he was just really exasperated because, like, he's doing all of this research. No one is listening to him. They're continuing to sell the paintings anyway. He knows something's up and something's fishy. But he like has this breakdown where he goes to the girl who he had like started this relationship with, and he like goes to her apartment, and they had like got mad or whatever, had an argument.
Well, because she had another man in her apartment.
Well, no. Before that, because they had an argument before that.
Yeah.
And it was literally just like an argument. And then he went over there to like share some of this research and shit with her. And like, there's another motherfucker in there.
Shirtless, making food in the kitchen.
And so he just like, I don't know. His reaction was like.
You really can't describe it. You kind of have to watch it.
You really have to see just that part. Like, incredible. His freak out is just amazing. It reminded me of you. It was just like you needed to come over to do some like very serious podcast work. I am like fucking around with my bullshit, like on some bullshit. There's a motherfucker there naked making like coffee, like, and you were just over. Like, it was amazing.
It was me truly amazing. Last night. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No, it was just very good.
I was going to say, because it was he reacted in a very overly dramatic fashion. It was like very, sort of...
I feel like we've spent so much time on this, like literally 3 seconds of the film. But it's amazing.
It is great.
That part was really good. But another thing that you mentioned while we're mentioning things that weren't touched on, John Malkovich.
Yes.
What the fuck? You have John Malkovich in this movie. You already had to put his ass on the payroll, and y'all ain't gonna explain him at all? He's just gonna fucking be there?
So he served, John Malkovich's character was an artist, and he sort of served as like this anchor in, or like his character was sort of grounded in wholesomeness. Like, he really wasn't there for like the money. He was just an artist here to make art and all this other stuff or whatever. And I wouldn't say
wholesomeness. I would just say like an authentic. He was a more authentic artist.
But I think he stood as like,
because he was definitely depressed and mad, and he was going through the work.
I'm not going to say wholesome. I should say he served as like the anchor for like the morality tale of the story.
Right. He was the true artist who is struggling, who is working through his process, who is like creating with such painful slowness. Because I think there's like one scene where we actually go to his studio and we see what he's working on, and he's like got this one piece of art and he's trying to create something new. He's trying to create something original and not rip himself off and not rip anybody else off. And it's like, you know, we kind of see him kind of struggling with that.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is just peddling shit to people and like they're content to like sell prints or whatever and just make money off of it. But he has a very clear, like he's almost like stuck in between those two worlds because he does have his own like print manufacturing company, but he is also doing the work of being an artist.
Yeah. But then he disappears, and then
literally after that one scene, he just fucking.
But then he disappears, and then you see him at the end in the credits, and he's on a beach drawing designs in the sand, which is supposed to represent, you know, artwork that, you know, it's not going to be. It's just there for him and his enjoyment because the waves are gonna wash it away eventually, and it's not going to be there.
Which actually was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Is just
John
watching
Malkovich just drawing circles in the sand.
Just watching him skipping around, drawing circles in the sand, and then watching the waves kind of come up and like take it back. Like I thought that image was very poignant. Unfortunately, the movie didn't do a very good job of fucking setting that up.
Yeah.
Because by the time he pops back up, drawing circles in the sand, we've forgotten about him.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Yeah. So I think overall the movie like had great elements to it. Had great kills. It had interesting storylines. It had, you know, great actors in it. Mm-hmm. You know, a few interesting characters. Mm-hmm. But then it was just sort of like they were all sort of like directionless. Yeah. And I just think it missed like something solid and something strong for it all to like tie around to. Yeah. And I just think we were just missing it. So it was kind of hollow in a sense to me. Which I guess, you know, if that's the point of the film, then that's the point of the film. But I don't know that it was that intentional. Yeah. I will say the one thing that I did read about it was that the director, he conceived this project
This is Dan Gilroy.
Yeah, Dan Gilroy. After a film that he had been developing called Superman Lives was canceled by Warner Brothers, and they weren't willing to produce it because it had a large budget, and he essentially like wasted all this time on the film, about 1.5 years, I believe. And so he just felt that he had wasted all this time, and so that's why he created Velvet. I almost said Velvet. Buzzsaw. Velvet Buzzsaw.
Interesting. The sequel.
Velvet Buzzsaw. That's sort of why he
Okay, so she was bitter.
So this film was
a bitter Betty.
Yep.
Yeah, we were in a bitter Betty phase.
Yeah, so that's why this film was created. And
okay.
Because I guess he had such passion towards, you know, that film he was working on, Superman Lives, which I mean, I'm not knocking anybody.
I'm surprised that didn't get made because people love superhero movies.
And then it was just, you know,
right.
I guess this was just sort of like a fuck you.
Yeah.
Which, hey, that gave it a point in my book, but I guess we're at that time that we are just gonna. What are we gonna do with it, Katie?
What are we gonna do? So I can chill with literally that 15-second scene of fucking Jake Gyllenhaal having a freak out, which I need someone to put on YouTube so that I can watch that and only that. Yeah. Because I think for me, even though we had some good kills, we had some good moments, we had scary robo-hobo cop man. Cop? He wasn't a cop.
Hobo.
I like had him.
RoboCop. You were thinking of RoboCop.
RoboCop.
You were thinking of RoboCop. No, he is robot. He is hobo robot man. Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we had some scary parts. We had like he was terrifying. We had some good kills, but I have to kill this one. I can't. Yeah. I'll never watch it again. I promise you that.
So for me, I will say this. I will tell you this. I will chill with it once, and then after that, I will kill it. I will suggest. I mean, I think it's a good like one-time watch, and I suggest people to watch it just because of Jake Gyllenhaal's few scenes in it that were really good, and for the kills, I will suggest you to watch it. But then I will kill it after that. And I will tell you, don't watch the trailer or listen to this podcast about it before you watch it.
No, definitely don't watch the trailer.
But don't watch the trailer
Definitely
first.
don't watch the trailer. Even if you listen to this and you're interested in watching it, just don't go watch the trailer because all of the good moments are in the trailer. Like the trailer is literally every high point of the movie.
Yeah.
And I wondered that when we watched the trailer, because we actually watched the trailer before we watched the movie. Yeah. And I wondered if that was going to be the case because it felt like one of those trailers, and it absolutely was.
Yeah.
So don't watch the trailer. Just go right into the movie if you're going to watch it. I kind of wish that I had the 2 hours back in my life that I sunk into this, but now I have the ability to talk about it here. So
yes,
it's fine. This is what we do for you.
For you. Exactly. So, guys, that's our Netflix and Kill episode for this week. You can tune in next week for another Netflix and Kill, where we will review something.
Something.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And we've been getting some recommendations from you guys, and we love that. So, some of the guidelines that we follow, it's got to be on Netflix because it's called Netflix and Kill. And if you can email those to us, I know some of you guys will throw it up on Facebook or try to communicate it to us some other way. If you send it to the email, we can kind of like archive it and like put it in a place so that nothing happens to it. If you just like make a passing comment on Facebook that's like a recommendation, a lot of times I'll forget that shit because I have the memory of a gnat. Yes. So definitely email us at thehauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com. If there's something on Netflix that you really, really, really want to hear us review, shoot us an email and we will absolutely take a look at it for you. There's a lot of good shit on Netflix, actually. So we're down to work off your recommendations.
We're DTW, down to watch.
We are DTW for sure. Otherwise, if you want to connect with us, you can check us out on our socials. We're at The Haunted Heart. On Twitter, we're at The Haunted Heart Podcast. On Instagram and on Facebook, you can find us searching The Haunted Heart. We have a page that you can like with posts that we update and shit. And we also have a Facebook group, which is a lot of fun. And you should absolutely join it. It's a closed group, so you don't have to worry about like your Aunt Kathy seeing what a freaking hood rat you are. What a horror hood rat you are.
Yeah.
So if you request to join, either we or one of our Murder Mod Squad members will approve you.
Yes.
And then you can get to fucking hanging with your people, baby, with your
fucking.
tribe. Just get to that too, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe it becomes that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, guys. So until next Saturday, you know what you've got to do. Sit back, pop in some popcorn in your microwave and sit on the couch. Turn on that Netflix and chill it or kill it, whatever you want to do. But forever and always, stay spooky.